I really do not know how to start this video off. Okay, well, hello YouTube, it's me. I'm still alive, I haven't died, I promise. I haven't really done a video like this before, nor did I expect that I would have to, but I feel like that this is kind of something that needs to be addressed. Now, before we get too deep into this, I do just want to say that this video is going to be completely unscripted. I'm just going to be talking kind of one-to-one with you, explaining why I haven't been very active on any of the socials recently, and kind of just giving you a bit more of an insight of what's been going on, I suppose. Now, I will try to keep it brief. I don't want this video to last too long, I don't want to bore you with it, but there's just a few things that I feel like need explaining, really. I think the best place to start off would probably be to explain why I haven't been streaming on Twitch that much. I think at the time of recording this, it's been 2 weeks since I last streamed. Well, in my last stream that I did on Twitch, which would have been the one 2 weeks ago, I actually had my Twitch hacked mid-stream. Since then I have been able to recover the account. I actually got the account back quite quickly after. Since then, I haven't been streaming because I've been working on trying to make my socials more secure. It was a bit of an eye-opener for me, really. Now, at the same time as this, maybe a couple days before, I had 3 suspicious accounts join my Discord server out of seemingly nowhere. Now, these accounts were very stereotypical bot accounts, really. They would find the owner of a server, see what the server's kind of about. Obviously, mine is kind of dedicated towards Twitch, YouTube, Dead by Daylight, all that kind of stuff. And then I received a DM from one of these accounts, basically just telling me that I was, great streamer or whatever else, which seemed genuine and nice at first, but then the other 2 accounts messaged me the exact same thing, and it was just a very typical kind of bot interaction. The reason that I can tell that these were bots, like for 100% certainty, and they definitely weren't human, is just because they basically copy and pasted the exact same message from each other. Now, I would show screenshots and accounts and messages and all that, but I kind of don't really want to reveal that. I just want to explain what happened and then move on from it. I don't really want anything to be dwelled on this. I just want to be able to carry on. Following this, I didn't really think too much of it. There was the idea planted in the back of my mind after my Twitch had been hacked that it might have had something to do with this, but it just seemed a bit far-fetched to me for it to have any sort of link, so I kind of just brushed it off. Keep in mind, during this time, I still wasn't very active on YouTube. Obviously, in the last month now, I've posted 3 videos. 2 of them were back-to-back videos, which by all means isn't that many, but it was definitely good for me because I realised how much I actually enjoy posting these videos. And it is really a shame that something like this had to happen so soon, which meant that I would have to kind of pull back a little bit. But it was definitely necessary for me to kind of hold off, and I will say now that with the release of this video, this probably isn't going to be a green light that everything is going to go back to normal straight away. But I am going to try and get things back to regular as soon as possible. Now, this event alone was really enough for me to want to pull back from posting and streaming. But unfortunately, as it happens, this was far from the end of what was going to really go on. The next thing that happened was that I had these 2 accounts follow me on Twitch. Now, this was already suspicious because these 2 accounts had followed me way after I had already stopped streaming. I'm not going to reveal the usernames, but it was way after I had stopped, which instantly put a bad taste in my mouth. What they proceeded to do was what I can only imagine as them going on my profile and looking at my suggested streamers. I have since cleared my suggested streamers list as of this event, but they decided to go onto the profile of one of my friends. Now, my friend was live at the time of this, so when they ended up going on his profile, they joined in on his stream and they just started going in his chat and commenting my name and asking him to get me in the stream and to play with me. My friend was actually the one that brought this to my attention, so big shout out to him. I won't reveal his name right now because obviously there is a chance that this is all still ongoing and I do not want this to happen again. But he knows who he is and he honestly saved my ass because this whole situation could have been so much worse if he didn't pre-warn me that somebody had done this. But yeah, they were just in there and they were just commenting my name, telling my friends to get me in the stream and to play with me and all sorts of other stuff, really. But after this, my friend raided out into somebody else's stream, someone that he knows, and they proceeded to pull this straight up bullshit in this other person's stream, and I didn't know this other person, so it wasn't like they knew who I was and to know what was going on. So this other streamer that I had never spoken to before, that didn't know who I was now getting people come in her chat and just spam my name and to get me in the stream and all sorts of stuff, and to ask when I was next going live and everything. Now if this was just some new viewers, some new people that came from YouTube and followed my Twitch and were genuinely curious about when I was next going live or wanting me to join these games, then I probably would have been a bit more forgiving. But the fact is, they have gone into these other people's streams and flooded their chats with my name. Now regardless of whether that's genuine or a troll, I don't think that's cool. And it definitely was a troll, because these people, the way they were talking, the way they were commenting in the chat was very much just somebody trying to rage bait, really. Not to mention that one of these accounts was literally made about 3 minutes before it followed me. So clearly this is just two people thinking they're funny, or maybe even like a botted account, two bot accounts that are just trying to troll. Now trolling like this is kind of something that you expect on Twitch and on YouTube anyway, especially when you're just trying to push out content like I was. You're exposing yourself to so many different people that you're bound to find some trolls in there. So if it just stopped here with these two, after I'd apologised to my friend and the streamer that also was affected by this, I was willing to just let this go. I banned the two accounts because obviously that's not cool. I actually went into the streamer's chat and said, hey, can you stop doing this? And they still carried on. So then I banned them from my Twitch. I told my friend to ban them as well because they were clearly just trolling. And then I said in the streamer's chat, look, just ban these two. And with that, I was just going to leave it there. Like, I was just going to put it behind me and carry on going forward. Then it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But then it continued throughout the night of these accounts that were made 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. They were all named these really weird things and were putting stuff in my offline chat. So it kind of just turned into this long battle of me trying to get all these accounts banned, and I even had to get my mods involved in it. But ultimately, in the end, I just put my Twitch chat on shield mode and kind of hoped that would be the end of it and just let it die down on its own, and I would deal with it all when it's all blown over. But of course, again, it didn't stop here. They then decided to take to my YouTube comments and start commenting stuff on my YouTube videos, asking me to look at their messages in the Twitch chat. Again, this was just as simple as hiding the user profile from my YouTube so that they wouldn't come up again and any future comments wouldn't come up and whatever else. And I also have now temporarily turned on a setting which means that the comments that will be put, any comment that will be held for review before it gets released. Now at this point I thought it was done, it was getting really late, so I just went to bed and thought that if anything else happened I'd deal with it in the morning. And then when I woke up in the morning nothing else had happened, so I thought everything was fine. I was still going to hold off on the big push on content just to make sure that all of it did actually blow over and I wasn't going to be putting any other of my friends at risk of having these people show up in their chats again. But on the whole, I just kind of had the mindset of wait a couple of days, it'll all be finished and then everyone will forget about it and everyone can just move on. But then when I woke up this morning, the day of me recording this video, the day of me doing this voiceover, I was woken up to an absolute cluster of comments from seemingly bot accounts, because I don't think they were alt accounts, they just seemed too robotic to be real. And they would just leave hate comments on the video, and they were really robotic, like they didn't really make any sense, but they were definitely still trying to be hate comments. Now on the whole, I can live with hate comments, you know, my content isn't for everyone. If you don't like me or the content that I produce, that's fine, and some people choose to express that, that's also fine. I'm more than accepting that I'm not for everyone. And this is totally fine, so usually I would not have an issue with these hate comments being left up, but it's just the annoyance of the fact that these are like just so clearly bot accounts. They were all made at pretty much the exact same time, and all of their comments kind of looked the same. And the comments were definitely not from people who had watched the videos, because all the videos were killer videos and they started talking about Survivor gameplay and how bad it was or whatever else. I can't really remember what they said. But on the whole, the hate wasn't what bothered me. It was just the fact that I was being botted like immediately after everything else that had just happened as well. And that was what ultimately pushed me to make this video. I do feel like that everyone that does watch me kind of does deserve an explanation as to why I've kind of gone, you know, missing for the past week or so. I'm more than fine with getting hate comments on these videos and for getting people that don't like me on the platform, because not everyone is going to like you. That's something that you have to just accept very early on when you're making content. It was just the fact that I was being botted and then some of my other friends were being involved and dragged into it now. But all in all, yeah, that's everything that's happened. This video only serves the purpose of being an explanation as to why I've kind of been missing this past week, 2 weeks, however long it's been. I do not intend to quit, I do not intend to stop. This changes nothing in the grand scheme of things. It does just mean that I was going to be waiting a while and taking some time away from YouTube and Twitch to make sure that everything is secure as it can be. This isn't going to put me off making content at all, even though I'm going to have to take a step back just to make sure that everything is safe and secure. That doesn't mean I intend to stop at all. As soon as I can ensure that everything is safe, secure, nothing's going to happen, everything's going to be fine, then I'll be more than happy to start again with the uploads that I was giving before, where I was trying to give them really consistently and then trying to stick to a streaming schedule even. But I didn't just want to go completely MIA, I did kind of want to explain this all to you, so I wasn't just, packing up and leaving randomly, and then to try and pick it back up like nothing had happened. But yeah, I do appreciate you all for listening to me and for letting me explain kind of what had happened, and I do hope that I'll be able to see you all again soon.